we'll say the prayers on page number 10. The first we will end in Tibetan, each verse 2 times, all the way to page number 13, and then we will chant in English. nam da shin la jo bar sho ye na guru rana mena kame yada ya me. In English, on page number 11, I take refuge in the Guru. I take refuge in the Guru. I take refuge in the Dharma. I take refuge in Sangha. Enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And by this practice, may I attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. May all sentient beings enjoy happiness and comfort. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and causes. May all sentient beings never be separated from joyful bliss. May all sentient beings feel bias, attachment, and anger. This ground anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, Mount Meru, encircled by the four continents, surmounted by the sun and the moon, I visualize this Buddha field and offer it. May all living beings enjoy the pure land. Idam Guru Rana Medala Kameya Daya Me. Foundation prayer on page number 14. Le ba to ne be ba du ma yi gu ba je mo ne ba je lo la je ne be da be de sa de shen do ne ka do chen shi nian zhen guo do nian wu len bei lu jian xie mei er jie wer xian jie lu lu so you wa chu ye chu wu xian yu du jie che wa zhen ba dong xie bei jie zu lu dang zhen ma xi gar na lin jie zhen zhang ye wa den bu ye ni ye wi ha shan cha wa nan zhang bong wa ye so ta da zhu ber che ba la da de ba ta de ber xie jie lu xia bei mei gu de ge gu jie gu ye de mei lu se bei peng zu ji ye mei re ne ta wei de wa la do nie chen bu zhe wer xian jie lu nam da zang ba de yi zhang wa yi zhen zhuang xie xian ba you xian bu yi
Tambe zawa so so tarwa Rupa nyam che bar chen che lo Nya nye so so no wa je shen ma je tru gan jang de o ne lo wa do ve per che Song Zhou Sen Zhou Zhong Wer Shen Jie Sen Zang Jie Zhang Zhu Zhen Nang Song Gong Bang Pe Na Chang Zhu Men Dong Ni Jiao Si Dong Ba La Dong Ba Zhang Bei Lo Per Shen Xi Lo Lo Bei Ye La Yong Wang Xie Xie Xiang Yang Da Dong La Si Zhen Shou Tang Shen Ne Lan Dong Zong Le Zhen Wei Lam Nier Zhen Yen Ma Jie Wer Shen Jie Long Mo Lang Jiang Nu De Zhen Wan Na Ta Ba Gan Jie Chou Jie Do Jie Ta Ga Zang Jie Wei Jie Ngo Dang Ba De Lan Jie Jie Per Shen Jie Lo Dian Jie Ye Zhou Dong Ni Zhe Bi Zhi Dong Zhang Zi Dong Per Song Wang Lan Xie Ma Me Be Nie Wa Nie Zhe Ni So Dang De Lian Song Wer Chen Jie Lo Te Ne De Yong Wu Re Ni Ne Na Je Shen Do Ne Zong Ba Ye Je Na Yo Chong Li Me Ye Wer Dang Bi Song Shen Zong Per Shen Jie Lo De Lam Sang De Bi Shen Nian Dang Zu Zhen Zhe Bi Zhou Na Xiang De Jiang Che Da Nan Ye War De Zhou Bei Zhou Nie War Shi Qian Jie Lao De Zhou Qian Wa Guan De Yang Da La Ma Da Me Zhe Jie Ba La Lan Zhou Jiang Sa Da Nan Jie Yong Den Ran Zong Luo Jie Chan Ye Gong Ba Yu Du Shou. Now we will chant
foundation prayer on the page number 15 in English. And Teresa, can
The foundation of all good qualities is the kind and venerable Buddha. Correctly devoting to him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely on him with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly, day and night, takes its essence. This life is as permanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After death, the effects of black and white karma pursue us as the follows the body. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful, to abandon even the slightest negativities, and to accomplish all virtuous deeds. Seeking the pleasures of samsara leads to all suffering. They are uncertain and cannot be relied upon. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate a strong wish to the bliss of liberation. Led by this thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great caution arise. The root of the teachings is keeping the fundamental vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Having seen that all these, my kind mothers, have fallen like myself into the oceans of samsara, may I train in supreme bodhicitta and bear responsibilities of freeing all beings. If I develop bodhicitta without practicing the three types of morality, I will not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the bodhisattva vows with great energy. By pacifying distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyzing the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the path uniting calm abiding and special sight. Having become a pure vessel by training in the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the Vajrayana, the highest of vehicles. The basis of accomplishing the two attainments is keeping pure vows and commitments. Having become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and pledges with my life. Having realized the importance of the two stages, the essence of Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Buddha. May the gurus who show the noble path and spiritual friends who practice it have long lives. Please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner hindrances. In all my lives, may I never separate from perfect gurus and magnificent dharma. By completing qualities of these stages, may I quickly attain the state of Vajrayana.
Good morning and Tashi Dilik to all of you.
다 장땅치라 지금 가서 있는 티섬곰숨 지원소 곰그런 받들라 셰곰 조곰 되네 자곰 세대 망고인 거 단단하도 근데 연대 이제 뭐 돈에 오늘 뭐 지도 될라 아니 자금진에 뒤도는 봐 칸에 좀 삼로 동안 탁다고 그랬어요. 또 지나를 비 지내 소소다 넘바도 돈 살수 봐라. 저동지나 오늘 지나 뒤봐 원네들이 당보니 봐 얼마로 자성 스노 칸에 맞던 로트베나 스노 셔트나 요거 또 마트베나 칸에 동그 뒤돈 봐섬 이나 니 샤곰 전에 샤 람기는 봐 자성 근데 로트 보르지
Um, um, Generally, we often, when it comes to put our practice in our daily life, we often talk about the very importance of the three things: listening, contemplation, and meditations, and which really involves the meditations, which are the visualizations, meditations, as well as the single pointed meditations. But whenever we the practice such as chanting and other practices, it is very important to able to visualize the essence and meaning of the words. For example, we just chanted the foundation prayer in Tibetan and English. Whether you chant in Tibetan or English, it is important to apply the analytical meditations, which you analyze the each of the words while you chanting or saying reciting the each word. For example, expressing the sweet or melody words from your mouth, and meanwhile mentally you observe the meaning, essence meaning of the each word, and uh, once you're able to do that, and so at the end you could apply or able to the understand the very essence, the meaning of whole the path of the foundations.
진짜다 아니 당어도 남바성지에 대통령 남기 저는 양보성하고 그랬어 사와카시 또 진짜 남바성지와 라지비가 고섬 무슨 식으로 고섬 거는 당보 잠도 보고 남바성 잠도 보고 이와 더 전부 남는지 그거 샘질 선바 타와체 전부 성하기 남는지 그거 광스 고섬 식으로 다 고섬도 셰버 셰발라 당보 고섬도 간다진 로고래 이제 지금 셰발라 텔라 티섬 고섬 식고 텔라 티섬 고섬 셰발라 티와시비 겐데 요코치 땡고르 마토 네 티타타타타 셰바데 섬 동자 람 노로체나 타도 용고 말람 마노로이 신인식 땡고 자다 당봉공고들라 네 유신 차이 정당당 받는 땡고를 때문에 기습진이 좋지 타타타타 셰바다 지곤 제스 당고를 이제 요네 이제 뭔고데 뜻이고스
Uh, uh, the I think today this gathering we have maybe some of you are maybe long time practitioners, or maybe some of you may just exploring the practice of the Buddha or Buddhism. So whatever it is, I think the very importance, as I mentioned earlier, the practice of the three things are very important. We have to apply, which are the listening, contemplations, and meditations. So in order to do that, first of all, to understand the three entrance or the three doors. The first one is the door of the entering the Buddha or the Buddhisms, which are the taking the refuge. So this is the first entrance, and the second is in order to engage or the entering or have the practice of the Buddhi chitta, and one must enter the higher vehicle, and lastly. The enter the Tantrayana, one should also receive the higher teachings higher teachings initiations, and uh, in order to enter these three doors, first of all, we have to understand and instructions, the way to approach without any making any mistake, and how we can do again the practice of listening, contemplations, and the meditations. So when I say listening, meaning the receiving the teaching from the master, from the teacher, from the authentic instructor. And in order to find the master or the guru, of course, you have to investigate whether he or she are lion, authentic teacher or master, who can lead you the right path or give you the right instructions. Otherwise, if you just randomly pick some sort of like teacher who claim him or her as a master or guru, then he or she might lead you to wrong directions. So that's very important. And in order to practice the first the step of the listening, one should find the right teacher, and in order to receive the right teaching.
대자다 아니 잡슨 로즈 잡슨 로들라다 잡섬즈네 성지 공주 치고 중계는 거 조선 서고를 대자다 잡슨 로주가 성지 공주 때 가동도 사위 개인 시절 성지 공주 그런 게 몸냠는 지네 예비에 담비 치대 치공주래 아니 딜라 못네 단다버터 로니 동안 앞전에 단다버터 예만치 봐 냠는 지용 건 기워둘라 견는 공주 쓰기요 된저 딜라 잡스 손에 가르치게 하더니 다 좋았더나 잡스 손지 좀 던데 그런 거 얘기에 예비에 다르위 람데 ngabu se ta te ta te nga te la bu ndu te chang ni sang ji chom de chu ji sin dang ni chu ji yon den dang ni ji la ji ya ji ni ji ji yin te za de ji di che deng ni da yin de gong zhuo tang sama re wa ju ni jiap si ji yin zi ni zong zhuo ni sang ji ni ye bi ye ba de ma no wa ji ni dan da wa su yin ba de le to wa ji go ma to ti ba ro zu ji dang de sang ji song ma yin ba de ni ji zi ji no na de ge ma de da sang ji 선지기 지송아 가송 송아 지마지진 마지비용 년직된 뜻다 선지 공적 그래 근데 디기기 연던데 시공적 때라 안에 롱동 또비 연던 남이데 롱 세데 쿠길라 유비 연던데 칸이마 조비 나들이 시공적 롱 또비 연던세 그런 길라 유비 삼양지 정체선 똑바들 똑바길라 칸이 조버 셰발라 당고 그런 거 셈노 등 우요 니와 우요 니오면은 칸이 용 셰트고 막 아주 가야 담봉 아주 하고네 뭐 내일 세월와 어떤 든지 달라다 잡선로인 다 당보 잡선로라 잡선로는 되네 잡선로는 나랑 조 나랑이 타와도 비쳤대 있는데 다 고로한테 타와 또 붙여봐 잡선로 그러지
So, and the so that's why it is very important to uh, be aware of the finding the right teachers. But when we entering the three doors, the first one, the entering refuge, taking refuge to the Buddha Dharma Sangha. So the refuge, there are three refuge, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and the Buddha is the root, the master of the Buddhist, and his teachings is the Dharma, and the teaching that Buddha taught and has been carrying or has been practicing over the 2,800 years ago. The practitioners we call the Sangha, Buddha Dharma and Sangha. So the questions arise like why one should practice the teachings, why we should learn the Dharma, why we should take refuge. The question is why we should refuge, because every one of us we seeking for the liberations, and how we can liberate through the practice of the Buddha teaching or the Dharma. For example, through the engaging or taking refuge or going after the Buddha teaching, that I want to have this in my life. So therefore, I take refuge. Therefore, I'm taking refuge. And once we receive that teachings, make sure we receive the right teachings, and there's no way we can inventing our own kind of Buddha teachings. And because Buddha teaching is already been taught by Buddha himself, and make sure that we're not kind of inventing our own Buddha teachings, and so what really within the three refuge, one of the most important is we are seeking as the Buddha Dharma, that he's teaching. That his teaching, there's two kind of teachings. The teachings of the Buddha himself expressed, and the teaching that he realized. So these two kind of teaching one should achieve, and so that's why I'm seeking for the liberations.
다 인종 타와 토버스 인종다 타와 토버스를 가르치고 그래서는 다 단단한 밀리토요레스 밀리토도 밀리도 도모마인비 남수 당다바 근데 지금 근데 정화지나 정통의 텔라tin 람통 토바질라테 떠로동스 마이 토요자 아니 단주기 밀리 자침부터 니와데 하고 그래서 하고는 텔리 리튼 자침부터 유와데 다른 장마자지데 배조 땅 거래 배조 땅 마당나 대응 니마치가 베트 카트로 신도를 매와 카 차로를 그때 매와 착근 하고 말이지 또 매와 차소나 가려운 거는 교교와 심마때 참조를 그래서 제가 생각도 잘 좋아서 단다 무슨들라 가르치는 때 교랑냠때 딜리 서베 리 타정 잡았 정도 지스는 연구를 했잖아 telā lindilangi wa tambo nyengo resi. Lindilangi wa tambo nyena, o ta li tende giwa sakna ngone tani tarwa tujinduwa se tarwa tujitene, ta li ma giwa sakna dengi nyongundu, kurwa dhubgundu se, tani tarwa tang kurwa ki chabrat shiyong so, ta mi matsitegi jiktendegi shawa mongbo chigila, te tsamgui ka chakshin mewa jane. Sozo kang wa te pecho te hana pe shio chigi tongtongo dayi khamungro tangde, shio tende 맞지 찾으면 돼. 니들 용어에 봐 통용 없어. 다 타라도니 길로지 그래. 근데 타라도니 지마 많이 맞지 빈인 당 참여 봐. 타라도군도 사람들 로트 경우나 등인 정도 삼바 제들이지.
And the so that's why um, um, so if the Geshe-la actually going briefly through the foundations prayer that we taught the previous class, and once we the reasons we be aware and practice all of this because of the that very life is cannot be reliant, and because the reason because the precious the human life we have, and the very a very unique and a special the life and or the body we have, or what we call eight eight leisures and 10 endowments of the life. So we should use this in a very useful and without any making any mistake or the wasting our life. Because that very precious life also impermanent, and one day it will also show the impermanence, and it will separate for this very life. So what happened when we leave this or done with this life, and then of course it will connect to the next life. So when it connect to the next life, and that very karma that we accumulate, it will it will kind of show the result in a very detail, uh, which we accumulate from this life. So that's why also one should also recognize and have a realizations, the great realizations, the meaning of the karma, the cause and effect karma. And when I say realizations or the knowledge of the karma, I means that through the understanding of the precious life, as well as the functions of the karma and so forth, we understand that if I accumulate the good karma, then of course I can liberate myself, meaning I can attend the liberations. Or if I accumulate the bad karma, and certainly I will, kind of trap or the reborn again in the samsara. And well, so once we know this, and all the time, again, the use your knowledge and the practice, and try to live in a very dharma life, meaning having a less attachments, the toward the worldly life, and contain what you have. So this is the what we call the renunciations.
어, 당연히 좀 삼바도 길게 우리 줬더니 탁받침 볼람난 지금 탁받침 볼람난 주로 당보데 가 대화도 봤던 등에만도 봐. 나 심지 탐질 아 직발에 왜 이제 들어왔던 심지 탐질 대화도 봤던 거 직발에서 다 상황 나랑 상황 대화도 봤던 것도 직발에 삼로 땅으로도 서로 다 참여지게 동용도 찾고 심지 탐질 직발에 그래서 심지 탐질 등은 당 제고 근데 마다 직발에 심지 대화 동된 건데 마다 직발에 선도 저도 샴바당 연지고 어떻게 저 델리그 삼치지는 심지 탐질 대화 동되면 등은 당 단단 참아롱 선배 삼로도 봐 야기 정도 어떻게 니올 때가 주고 탐지 토고 심지 탐지기 쳇 말한 건 벌써 상기기 연습 삼로디나 상지지 셈 저거 또 연락이 올수 타바침 불렀나 싶어서 타바침 보고 나야 무서워.
and so this is the first the introductions of the entering the first step, which is the taking refuge, and the second is the entering the Mahayana the vehicle. Uh, so how we enter Mahayana vehicles in order to have or in order to practice the bodhicitta. Once we able to achieve the mind of the bodhicitta, then we enter the higher vehicles. So this is the way of doing this by visualizing the sentient beings through the practice of the four immersibles. For example, first of all, you have to, visualize yourself that I want happiness and I don't want the suffering. So that's sure. And then you have to visualize sentient beings. Do sentient beings have the same wish that I have, free from suffering and have a happiness? And of course, their reply will be yes, I want happiness and I do not want suffering. So once we realize and understand that uh, I and the other or the sentient beings have a same wish to want to be happy and doesn't want to suffering, in that way we equally share the same wish, that is happiness and the free from suffering. And the four measurables. Yeah, so in that way, it's give us or it allow or easily to engage the four measurables. For example, may sentient beings never separate from joyful bliss and always experience the joy and so on and so forth. So this is we call the love or the kindness. And may sentient beings never separated from, may sentient beings free from suffering and the causes of suffering. So that's what we call the great compassions. So once we genuinely generate that kind of wish and the form the practice, then we can able to generate the mind of the bodhicitta. So in that way, so we are entering the higher vehicle.
어때 저다 성이 공부하고 심지 탐지긴도 성이 공부하고 버셔서 다 레로 뜻하고 말았다 가르치고잖아 다 냠는 지고래 아니 당고 소소 스톰 송고래 사와 타바섬 전에 스톰기 사와 당연히 길라바 셰르기 사와 사와섬나 시고고다 스톰기 사와 세등하고 링업 nombat sore ta marongwa ni simjana no be marongwa te tam so chipchini ba so chete chum chilawa ko ta tangen ji lawa se don kan si sha kwa de la matani samlo tang ne ta te shilga ni chaba ngor shilga ni chaba samlo de la ne tangen ji lawa ta sherb ki lawa se na so ni se nilik ngoma te kar re ni chi ke nilik de ba so so ri bi chen sang ji song zo yo te nyang samlo tang so so rang ni pa 띵이와니 타와 셰르브 그 잡아체 타고 어때 서뭐 같이 모르지
Share tabadik khalai.
셰르브 타바세 된다 샬롱 가르와 닐릭 동어마데 쇼바체 그래서 텐종도 나 동바 뜻 뜻이고
I missed translate the earlier last Geshe teaching, and so once we generate that kind of wish, wishing sentient beings free from suffering and the causes of suffering, and and then we generate the very the strong kind of wish, fulfill wish that all sentient beings, may all sentient beings have happiness and attain the liberations. In order to do that, I voluntarily, accept that kind of burdens or that kind of engagements or hardships and myself. So that is the we call the the higher wish, the or in higher wish of the bodhicitta. And so when we the practice, so there are the there are three things that we have to we have to take care, or we have to maintain, or the understand, or the practice, which we call the three training of the mind. And the first is the training of morality, and the second is the training of uh, the meditations, or the concentrations, and the third is the training of the wisdoms. And this training of the trainings are very important. The first one, morality, of course, the morality of the mind, which really the talk about uh, the maintaining the one's behavior of the mind as well as the body, not engaging anything that will hurt or harm others.
리슴 리슴 이거만 리등 링을 이거 쏘고
Lungani,
어.
lungani and sorry, not the mind, but especially the speech and the mind.
Body.
Speech and the body. Sorry, speech and the body. And the first training of the mind is maintaining one's mind and the body, and the second is the concentrations, of the single pointed meditations as well as the analytical meditations. And third is the wisdom, the morality of the wisdom. So this is the more kind of intense teachings of the Buddha, understanding the nature of reality or the phenomena.
네, 다만 헤르비 차트 동서 근데 된종부터 또 된종부터 또 이런 된종부터 내랑신기 때문에 매바 된종왕 좀 봐. 내리트 또
So the third wisdom, morality of wisdom, is really talk about the interdependence, or the understanding of the interdependence, as well as the natural reality, that whatever exists, it isn't it doesn't exist by itself.
진짜 드니다 뜻모 남정스 뜻 상황원들로 다와치면 뜻모 남정 어디서도 타바긴지 초저도 지도 가능性인동을 내고 있는 줄 무슨 요다 타바치 뭐 남라시고 타바타 한거 남에 남라시와라 또 뜻모 남정 동원 손에 네 상치지 샘을 뭐지기라기 동반이기 또는 또 근데 왕신이 나가라시라 또 제실리실라 상기 니와도 용기요 레시
맞춤소.
근데 좀
두모는 좀 되래.
목표를 영어시장 도로 지내동 한번 좀 보죠. 실력 똑같은 뭐 토용나? 딴 사고 거나 가고 땅 남는 시간. 맞다. 마찬가지로 자동 반드시 자동 담보 싶다 그랬지.
So once we have this all the instructions or knowledge, then we can apply or engage or engage in a general path. So general path is are known as the practice of bodhicitta, and the meaning of emptiness, and as well as the higher the practice of the empowerments. So this is we call the general path. So now we are on page number 20. Having become a pure vessel by training in the general path. So this general path again, three path: bodhicitta, emptiness, and empowerment. So the once our the practice of the concentrations, which involve uh, uh, the concentrations of sorry, single pointed meditations and analytical meditations. Once our the single pointed meditation as well as the analytical meditations on the Buddha or the deities, once your practice gets advanced or much better, and then you can use this general path to enhance or make yourself advance and visualize the deities and the Buddha.
那我写了一些没空了呢，上次身体多吧，那个多吧的练过了，用的你的几个那个上次，咱们家路线的，等你今年叫了王能过的，王赛的叫，就当王赛的，我做了，你话这个那个基础话出身这个的噻，这基础出身写不了当过的，叫那个通过从了的出身这些呢，那叫那个所年们的咋龙宫跟那这个人才的跟那干劲的，你话叫了的出身头发的噻。好的是，
是不是？So when we when we engage the highest tantric the practice, one should also receive the initiations, which is very important. So in order to receive the initiations, one also received the two vows, the Buddhist bodhicitta vows, and also transmissions vow. So once we receive that, then we are allowed to engage the initiations. So initiations, basically initiations or empowerments. Tibetan we use the word wang, literally means giving permissions. What like do like when the disciple approach the master, so master basically give the permissions to him or her to practice or engage the empowerments. And so once you receive the empowerments, then you are allowed to practice. Whether you practice chakra or the inner winds and the other intense practice, you are allowed to do that.
但让你他公吧人这个人，让他公不是不了当多呢，然后他们为领的吧东巴去，东北昂里的呢是他是中国的那的中国的那个，是的他一 number 啥的，的呢的了的呢的，说说他公的的今年的过路过来啥公的用过是他等于是是个没事。
And so therefore, the tantric the practice which involve the some other intense visualizations, which we call the self visualization, the self, the Buddha visualize, and and in order to do that, first of all, you have to meditate on emptiness, and of course you have to understand the emptiness as well. And once you have the notions of the emptiness, and from that the ground of emptiness, you generate the Buddha or the deity you're generating, you're visualizing for. and from that, and you do others visualizations and so forth. But again, this is all I know for the intense tantric practice, and I don't want to go further the explanations.
나 진짜 로마다 좀 공부는 잔디스 공부는 잔디스 세트 한국 롱 잔디스 공부도 롱 잔디스 samgurda da choga kardo ne tamba omsoboshida sarvada mosoboshida hom 동원이 되게를 동행li 따라니 같이 그지 근데 파 사트 거 진짜 당보 안에 나랑도 단다 nga 잔디스긴 실수 나랑도 단다 차례 봉을 리마 상위 봉본들이 등을 짓는 롱진 된데가 마르비용 그 개발된 게 되지 삼도냐고 말도 동바 가르정 거죠 단다 마르비용 그 트핑하는 사적 봉본도 바 동바정 동배 양리니 다 사원도 홈로 가르정 들리다 사트야 트빙 롱진 대통령 양리 파트니 근데랑 잔디스 되지 다때 잔디스 때 양지동 새롭게 더 있잖아 되지 저송 상대 government 많이 통도 많이 벌고 왕토에는 걸 되지 로통도 되지 노디오셔나
If I give you very simple the visualizations of the tantric practice, and first of all, that you all know that you can do the self the Buddha realizations. And for example, the first of all, we have the chanting or the mantra we usually use or the chant whenever we do the some of the practice. So Geshe just said this om subo should so the subo should home. Don't want you to do don't be non-less. So these are the some of the involved. Some of that has a mantra, and om and so forth. But basically, it explained the uh, first of all, everything has to transform into the emptiness, and so from the emptiness, and one visualize the self Buddha and so forth. And but whenever you do this practice, for example, whether you self visualize as a Tara or the Buddha compassions, Avalokiteshvara or the Charisik, and first of all, very important is that we should not visualize, self-visualize as a Buddha as ordinary being. In generally, like we just meditate, simply meditate, and we kind of based on the what we have, what we are. But during this intense practice, one should abandon, or one should the able to the abundance that very defile body and the mind, and that body which ordinarily constructed by the flesh and the blood and so forth. So that visualization, because you are doing a self Buddha visualizations, so therefore one should abandon the thinking of that kind of ordinary the beings or ordinary individuals, and that through the transforming or thinking of the emptiness, one should kind of abandon, and then from that you generate the from the emptiness you generate the Buddha compassions yourself. And once you're able to do that, then you can engage any practice or for example, reciting the mantra or the other recitations.
다 디칭이다 남이 되게 난동당도 벌써 이번 소단지 송시기로 자 디콘도 된데게 지니 아니 지 통목을 남종 참아 원도 송네 아니 동반이 저 송치선도 뭐때 요거 semla 지만 바톱 되니 될라 라마 찾던 게 왕톱 줬더니 저도 냠는 질라 될라 되니 땡이도 남이 땡이도는 좋은 게 또 도몽이 됐지 다 도몽이 된 gel라 소바든지 요때 따때 솔로 톱이 온 거였어 게도 톱 그러지 게도 톱 때는 남토 담기 동을 송알라 게도 남이 톱 저때 가르즈나 또 톱을 세고 또 톱을 세비 지 가르즈는 그런 담기 동도 맞지 고지 처음 저들 우리 또 정말 다 송거스 송어야나 근데 텔라 지마마인 바페 동물이 동사 이치 소마 니에치니 텔라네 소솔 라테나다 dombason ete kacham si tabachi yung gores tende yona tende tikila mbejene
So we are on the on page number 20, second verse. The basic of accumulation, the two attainments, is keeping pure vows and commitments. Having become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and pledge with my life. And so once we go through the the practice, whatever importance that I mentioned, how to engage and how to enter three doors, and how to finding the master. And once we are able to find the master and receiving the right teachings or initiations, and become the suitable vessels, and or also finding a right or suitable master or teacher, and then the without any making a mistake, and we engage the practice. Um, um, and uh, and even though it will kind of like so when this kind of the practice, even that you one have to lose their life, and they have to take care this vows and the practice.
된서다 아니
And also the two attainments are the common attainments and the uncommon attainments.
뭔가 뭔가 남나시 타와 토크인 세데 다 소수 남던 로기 센로들 독자 텔레브나 요콜 레브나 통마시나 양가 저우쇼 쳐다 홍로 거르지 된서다 아니 잠바에나 소수 사지진 로고는 롤링 로당 로데 홀리던 롤링이 로당 로든지 홀리가 로나 비 욕고 요리 양가 저우 다다 람 다다 마시나 롤리가 로나 다 kiwa mongol jango gori na ro gori na tejam ga ka nangai yonggo samarta shamta penda nyangji da nyam shaba nyangji la sobat re gomni dana ta ko to matni kiwa ti len mli jene tejam bi ta ngor ma to o de la nga ta marsa ru me chona nga jene sho ni sa long gom chi ki nga ta ka jwana ta hama ko na ngoma te hama ko ti jana ta chi donde touching the skin or the Lord you mobile.
Mhm. So anyway,
Something simple singles, Masamina, not new article.
yeah. Anyway, we discuss a lot about the tantric practice. But anyway, the tantric path is like the it's like a taking a plane, or rocket. It's very fast, but not safe. The sutrayana and tantrayana. So there's two yanas, sutrayana and tantrayana. So tantrayana is quick but not safe, And in order to practice the Sutrayana, first of all, make sure our foundations, we have a good firm foundations. And then through that, and as I mentioned earlier, we have to go through all the process, the necessary process, for example, finding a right teacher and so on and so forth. Then uh, having the great realizations or the have the mind of the bodhicitta, then we can able to engage the Tantrayana practice. Otherwise, sometimes we are having no firm foundations and no the bodhicitta practice. So there's a very the dangerous the result. And there's a case in the previous history that someone become instead of become liberating him or herself, they just become or turn into the demons. And so there's a very risk practicing the Tantrayana. It's quick but risky. The Sutrayana, it's take long, it take long but a safe path. And for example, practicing compassions, loving kindness, and the morality, and so on and so forth. And it might take life after life, but it's safe, and one could definitely achieve the Buddhahood or the stage of the bodhicitta through the practice or the path of the Sutrayana.
다디 뭔가 된도서 그래. 근데 이제 용어를 이제 나는 지금 돈에 좀 봐야 텐션 주 손을 모여 담배 손질 접신 길로 써야 돼. 답지 조금 내가 녹음 되냐? 가만 좀 공개하고 있어.
Okay, let's practice meditations for a couple minutes.
그런 거 가르 소소 남기 좀 가고 나 고민. 되는 거 고민은 다나가도 가르쳐 있기 때문에 바로 자성 잡지 삼부터.
So you can either meditate what we discuss, and or you can meditate on whatever you have and you want to you want to meditate, such as single pointed or the analytical meditations. Any questions?
Yes, I have one question, please. Geshe, can you please explain on the second verse of pages 18 and 19, to what part could the Bodhisattva vows and what is their importance? Please.
뒤에다
Songba Drakpe.
야야야, 뭐 정도 저동 성지 삼달라
Chinchilo.
될라
장주쌤 뒤 가진 개좀 버렸습니다. 된다.
또 리는 도 맞습니다.
선점 지나죠.
선지 수점 남선라 수점 남았음 못해 선지 좀 니수도 비슷한 근데 소네 니수도 비슷한 시나 소소랑 게라 같이 버스 소소랑니까 니와의 바하고 데 방자의 바하고 과거네 디스템 송한테 공부선 심지어 디 하고 요르지 심지도 시스템 세대 던지 땅에 심지 등가 심지 담지 등가 쪽으로서 몸을 쪽으로 상기기 이제 킬린 담자 킬린지에도 킬린지 때라 소소 심비도 막 저동만 고 요르되나 근데 단된 시간은 뭐가 되나 디 뜻하다가 니 송기인 지 킬린 담자도 당당히 접기는 또 킬린자 심스톤 시스템 니슈드 시스템 근데 지금
심지 개주 개주도 무슨 말.
기와치디 시스템 기와치디 시스템 세대 근데 바로 뜻을 소속된 세대 당고 니슈드 시스템 세대 니 리가 무슨 송치네 니와 용금은 니와 마용화적인 세대 근데 심지도 시스템 세대 심지 담지 채등이 가리 잡고 가리는 약이 있는 등 있다 담지가 나중간 로 있는 세대다 스마트에니 니와 치디스로 때 채등하는 거 니와 용이 채ጥ다 티선 것을 소비네 냠는 진이 수수질라베 공패던 게 세대 소도 노르디션을 뜻이
가진 개좀 버렸습니다.
또 저는 성취 샘 송집지었던 니와 펠 같이 붙여다 왔어 조선 보면은 용거 말 소놈지 성성지 샘질라 기어서 가성지 공부터 심지 담지기도 가성지 공부터 그진 클린지고 되게 저한테 다가서 저런 클린지와 좀 줘요 말았다 클린지니 가르치고 그래 어떤이 송자 송긴 노르자도 노르긴 아니 심진 그 돈랑이 깔리자인 세다 또 고요
The Bodhisattva vows actually when we practice the bodhicitta or taking bodhisattva vow or basically practicing the bodhicitta and so there are some of the importance the promise we are making or in order to fulfill this practice to become a bodhisattva by taking the bodhisattva vow, one should also fulfill all the promises or all the disciplines, and so the discipline will be, for example, that to the bodhisattva vows which involve the first of all, have a altruistic mind and wishing sentient beings free from suffering and attaining the Buddhahood. So, in order to in order to attain the Buddhahood, I take fully responsible responsibility, as well as the voluntarily I will maintain and the preserve this vow in order to fulfill the sentient beings attaining the Buddhahood, or attaining the liberation, myself as well as all sentient beings. And so there are actually many the meanings and the way to preserve and to practice the Bodhisattva. But one of the three kind of types of morality, which are very I think good in order to the preserve the Bodhisattva vow, or fulfill the all the necessities. First one is the morality of abstentions from misbehavior or misdeed, and the second is the morality of integrating virtues, and the third, morality of welfare of other sentient beings. So first one is the morality of abstentions from misbehavior, which basically we kind of promising that I'm not engaging anything that I will create the non-virtues and so forth. And the second is the morality of integrating virtues, basically the the sorry, shouldn't, I'm accumulating the dharma and the virtues, and for the sake of all sentient beings. And the third is the morality of welfare for all those sentient beings. Basically, I can the uh, in order to do that, I will the practice myself, and such as the practice of listening, contemplations, and the meditations.
옛날 경 아리슨즈는 랑게이시기나 아리 마망그 돈등 앞에 아리슨즈 랑게이시 기 담자지기나 초창고 망보도 땅 옹아랑 등이니 첨동 아리 첨동 망가와지 더 당보를 이와 때네 마랑이니 비첨 망갈로 이거네 아니 아리 좀 그때로 고위 요시 야리게 가를 당고는 등이 다시 당기인세 담자 이와 대전에 단 당내 나랑 첨송 야리게 당내 갈 팜토도 아리 마망가 쳇지기인세 뜻음 다 도동지 파시는 던리식 담자로 그랬어 그렇잖아
So this three morality, I can give you the example of the actually three morality, actually we preserve, or the use in order to become the Bodhisattva, or preserve the Bodhisattva vows. For example, as a president or United States of America, the presidents when the president took vows, and before he become being president, they have to take a oath or the vow. For example, first will be the vow will be I will I will maintain the rules, right? So this is the first one. I will maintain. I will not maintain, like I will follow the rules. Yeah, I will follow the rules, and based on the not failing any rules, and I will the nourish the country, and the people, their life, and so on and so forth. So in order to do that, and I will take all the my responsibility and knowledge, to fulfill or benefiting the all the nations, all the peoples. So something like that. Does it make sense? Okay, so we have a few more minutes. If you have any questions.
Okay, 그러면은 좀 동동씩 보세요.
Okay, cool. Michael.
Does the Wang permission give us permission to do the self-generation of visualizing ourselves as the deity? Or is it only to visualize the deity outside of ourselves, giving us a blessing when we say the prayer?
대답은 능기도 덕지시고
Mhm.
담보
동치 덕지디 원슈도
음.
저 덕지 진이 고베나 아니 카레네 든지로 곰니 든지니 마 수수라야 친치 레벨로 네.
왕 마토 빠스네 잔디 왕도 토메나 능기 지는 거 먹을 잔디 진들라고 있는데 소 때라 때니 신읍시고 소소 왕 톱니 소 똑바야 가이다 저 동네는 소소랑 일 하고 엄지나 덕지곰 다 동거 왕 톱을 셔발라 왕 톱 하든 콜라 왕게 기파 선지는 마지 비껏 레비 용근 너 그런 야 될 거, 냠용도 저 손에 잠바만 손에 되게 냠바로 강도 정원도 선바지 뭐 근데 그거 곱다 줬던 거 지고 요르지 또 톱네 근데 또 왕들이라 왕다 쪽에 소소 왕근데 로마되게 다다다다 어딘데 라송한테 좀더 미치 좋은데 님 좋은데 나 토가 초와 초진짜 송세 뜻 처정지 신이 되게 미완로 지네 상업 탑지 미위도 소 미와지고 그냥 어디 미와 토송 미와도 된 미와진다 되게 토송님 뜻진 그래서 원 토송나 니모네 뜻 소소라 그 지초세 토동도 지这档的变成啊子呢 police officer la kote to na shi jong na jima ma gini gen lu tam chan lu chan cha sum korang korang la obi won cha ji do kar pe chu chi ko ga tama to ki police won chi be ne pyotam go wa won cha ta ma chna hote cha ta ane won ma tu na so so rang ni ha go ma na ta zhe ge
Yes, generating the Buddha outside, you do not need the initiations. You can visualize any Buddha, such as Chinrisik and Medicine Buddha, and any kind of Buddhas or deities. Without having any initiations, but the self generations of the self general of the Buddha, one should have initiations, and so speaking of initiations or the empowerments, again, as I mentioned earlier, it is very kind of serious matter and very important, and you make sure you find the right guru or the authentic guru. Right guru, meaning you go through all the investigates, make sure that he or she, the very authentic master or teacher who, in order to give the initiations, and that teacher also make sure that he or she received the initiation that has been carrying from the Buddha, that initiations, the lineage initiation that has been carrying from the Buddha to master till that current the master you are relying on, and second is make sure that they have a experience. Make sure he or she also been all the practice and all the experience, intense practice or the meditations. If he or she doesn't have not much the detailed experience, but at least can able to explain the instructions clearly to you, and you yourself as a disciple, understand. And from the master side, make sure that they give the very understandable instructions toward the disciple. And so once we find and go through all the necessaries, and then of course you can engage the initiation, as well as the doing the general self generations, the Buddha, and so forth. So it's basically like police. We have a police here, without having received permissions. If I go out and wear a police costume and act like a police, and this is against the law, right? I will be, handcuffed and put in the jail. Similar is like we don't have initiations. We are, breaking a law, the rules, and creating a bad karma, and so this is something like this. Yeah.
所以做东西不是的，东西米瓦做是米瓦，我他妈上个米云就不是，米瓦进去那么特别米瓦做的那地卡这个说的，什么东西是往那是，我就是但是呢，我那波拉的那么这什么往各种是的，他过去就特别米瓦做，你米瓦做人大把好的是个，他不真多把钱，可的是他米瓦做是弄嘛多是的，他可的什么用的米瓦，不是啥米瓦在，可米瓦做嘛做的，可应该那么的马子破看我是。Mars 표현데 코지마 원사성조데 남마들 마르디 시다니 그런 마르디 톱송이 미미완조 제니다 계속 스키야 거시
그 코스모스 칼레
어
아바 호르길라베
아바 마르디 키온 라마 포 키오라 자꾸 라마게 미완조 세자다 코쳐 더해 말 미어 삼당 거 내가 그때 넘어가래 저도 그때 마디야 전에 라마디야 시다니 마르디 콜라 톱송이 미완조 제니다 시작했어
Okay, so so let's end our class with a very interesting, funny story that happens in Tibet. It's very related with the initiation that we've been talking. One upon a time, there was a master who initiation instructions or initiations empowerment. The the generally when someone engaging or someone giving the tantric instructions or the practice, mostly are the visualizations. It involves the visualizations, and when the instructor kind of express that visualize that you receive that, and he or she will give you some explanations how to think that object and so on and so forth. And when Lama or the master express that, make sure you visualize that you receive that, and as a disciple say, oh, I received that, mentally they visualize. And there was a guy is very popular, and maybe you often heard that about that guy, and his name is Abahor. Abahor, a very honest and humble individual, and so when we look at what happening, disciple and the master, mentally they giving kind of instructions, and the based on what are happening, and he realized that as a disciple or maybe giver doesn't have a very base foundations, and how could they visualize, and then he want to kind of tease the instructor. So he carried the butter, in Tibet we carry the butter to offer the master or lama. So that guy Abahor, he carried the butter, and then he said, hey Lama, why not you visualize that you receive this butter? Now you receive it, and then he took it back. He didn't give them butter. Actually, usually we offer butter, so we just leave the butter, right? So that master can have it. But he said, hey Lama, why not you visualize that you receive the butter? Now you receive it, and then he took it back. Okay, we'll say the dedications on Labrim on page number 80, 80. Okay. I was visualizing.
Should I tell about the July 9th? Make that announcement today? Okay. Thank you, everybody. I'm gonna make an announcement. July 9th, His Holiness's birthday is July 6th. He'll be 88 years old. So on July 9th, we're gonna have a smoke puja first at 9 o'clock. It'll be outside, and then the monks will bless the prayer flags. And then we will come inside here and we will say long life prayers for His Holiness. And then we will have trestle of tea. And then after that, Venerable Geshe will give a teaching on the intermediate stages of meditation. So July 9th, it's not next week, but the week after. And now I will pass out the begging. If you would like to make a donation, and this is really fine, you may do that by calling 812-336-6807 or by emailing the center at tmcc.kcl@gmail.com. And for those of you here in the temple, if you'd like to make a donation, it would be greatly appreciated by the monks in the monastery, and then I'll pass this around. And if you cannot make a donation, you can just say a prayer or a mantra in the bowl. Okay, thank you.
No, rang do be zo ni ka der yang wa gan shi sa ba no me ma re ye do ro wa Nam re ya we wang bo da de ma so be te ro gong do ya be yang je zi be je song Da be re ba gun ca lan ye jo ye de ge be ya na ye che sho rang ye che shen do be lan ye 是照自为照为他见，若为业界莫把萨切，要为担保有让自知。 当报人间求也马家，照将娘们儿只为求人，娘这全部有人就把。 Ande de savar je parsho se je ya ve me jo chale la zhou xiang jiu lan jie ren 耳朵
Lam
Son de be de che do she chang. Ga je se je me da me ce ro gong do ya ve ma nam da nam da de ma je Gang zi dong bang chou la qu jiu si xin zhi la zong ba de yi zi de de nan ji da de zhong xi xiang 赵西江左秋根赵之吉宝的草为妈妈人不吉大所尼格尔巴比丹修拉嘎真前波国尼吉松的古松的金我着咋的所长久生出人不吉马吉巴那吉吉吉杰瓦娘巴没巴尔样公尼公德培瓦修康日阿维古维西康德班当的瓦马律中维尼今日在瓦登在亚洲尼上北山的花的等着吉江波把我接得前巴当共度上波的样的心的得到根结结色大罗江夜晚得到他们让得我的所上边要我他们接近我刚完穷的我帮的大些因为上我的根章上波就是让的我儿子俺的兄弟担保的上街但真借我当时更刚上若见更老的这种为你上街担保道德解决解才让更多要我从高他就信念我是在别多亚维马贝朗上的夜里各界赞扬都不忘记
机会。